Now at 5:30, it is the aftermath of flash flooding spawned by heavy downpours. Bayous filling up and familiar underpasses impassable. We have live team coverage this evening. Starting off with a live look, this is White Oak Bayou at I-10, and you can see a very full White Oak Bayou as we take a live look. It's one of several bayous we'll be keeping a close eye on as more heavy downpours are expected over the next couple of days. Now, fortunately, we're quieting down after the skies opened up over much of the area earlier.
Thank goodness, because we needed a break. The heavy rains leading to blocked underpasses, stranded drivers.
Everything you can imagine when it rains like this outside. Chief Meteorologist David Paul keeping tabs on it all, following the latest conditions for us. We're thankful for this break right now, Dave.
Leave that bayou shot up for just a second. So it's interesting. It looks like it's full, right? The bayou, that's about half full.
Uh-oh.
So White Oak Bayou actually did a great job today. With all the rain we had, only going to half full. But in the days ahead with more rain, that could very quickly get higher. And so absolutely, the bayous are something we're going to be paying very close attention to over the next several days. As we look at the extended forecast, weather impact alert tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, because several more rounds of heavy rain, like we had this morning, are expected. They are likely, and if they do come, we're going to see those bayous go a lot more than half full. We did see Greens Bayou get to bank full at 59. I think that was the only bayou that we had a problem with. We're going to talk with flood control here in just a moment and get their thoughts on what's going on. And then on top of all of that, or should I say, as a result of this area of disturbed weather, this is the same spot that we were tracking out of the southern Gulf last week. It's moved here. With its broad, weak counterclockwise rotation, it is helping to pull moisture off the Gulf and sling it into Houston. That was one of the reasons we had the heavy rain today. It may actually develop into a depression or a tropical storm. 50-50 chance, says the Hurricane Center. They say within 7 days. This is going to happen Wednesday or Thursday as it moves over the water. Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, if it's going to develop or not. Regardless of development, it is going to bring more rain. So flood watch in effect through Thursday morning. So now through Thursday morning, we're expecting to have 1, 2, 3 more heavy rounds of rain. And at that point, rain totals on top of what we've already had could exceed 12 inches, according to some modeling. Bayous, we track all of them. They actually performed really well today. We only had one problem, which was here. This was Greens Bayou at 59. Earlier, this was at bank full, so right at flood stage. It has dropped down, so we've gone from red to yellow here, but stay away from the bayou. And then this spot, this is the dam at Lake Houston, and there is water coming over the dam at Lake Houston. They're trying to let out some of the water there in anticipation of more rain. I wanted to show you this. We got lucky over the past 24 hours in Houston, because last night into the early morning hours, they had a foot of rain fall here between Brenham and Bryan. That is in the watershed here, the Brazos River watershed. So I'm curious about how the Brazos River is going to do. I'm going to ask flood control about that here in just a second. But in Harris County, rain totals, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, and that's what caused all the street flooding. So we had street flash flooding today. We did not have structure flooding, but if you live near a bayou in a low spot and you know you're at a flood threat when we get heavy rain and your bayou or creek rises, pay very close attention to the forecast over the next 24, 36, 48 hours. Radar right now shows that we're getting a break, much needed. That's allowing the bayous to do their job and drain right now. And I think we're going to be quiet over most of the night. We go into the wee hours, 4 a.m., begin to see rain redeveloping, and that sweeps in our next round of rain going into tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow morning we have a good chance of just repeating what we saw today. So that's where we stand with the next round of rain expected tomorrow, the first half of the day, just like we saw today. Like I said, flood control, we've been in close contact with them. We're going to talk to Jeff now. Yes, let's do that. Jeff Linder with Flood Control. Hey, Jeff, it's good to see you. Some of you may know Jeff and I are longtime friends, colleagues, and Jeff, it's good to see you. I'm looking at the rain totals. I looked at the bayous. It looked like we only had that one watershed, Greens Bayou, that got up to bank full. What watersheds are you watching today? What areas are you most concerned about?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We had that one spot there on Greens Bayou there, 59, that got pretty high this afternoon. We had about 3 to 4.5 inches of rain in about an hour upstream of that location, so we put a lot of water into there. Still keeping an eye on Halls Bayou. It's up, elevated pretty high, and then some of the smaller tributaries over in the Spring Branch area were pretty high this afternoon. They've all come down. Great job explaining how the bayous have been doing their job. They've been evacuating the water very effectively today and moving it out of here. And so, as long as we can get these breaks and we don't get 2 or 3 hours of the rain we kind of saw earlier today, the bayous will be able to keep up with it. It's if we don't get the breaks that we're concerned about, and that's when we could see some more significant rises and potentially overbank flooding if we get 4 or 5 inches of rain in an hour and it goes on for a couple hours.
Remember wet weather patterns like this that went on for days, and it was the breaks that we get a break for 6, 7, 8 hours, and that made the difference, and it kept many neighborhoods from flooding because the bayous would have a chance to do their job. I saw a bullseye of a foot of rain up there near Bryan or just above Bryan, and that looked like it was in the Brazos River watershed. And I was just curious if you guys are monitoring the Brazos River. Is this going to send a bulge of water down the river? What are you looking at there?
Yeah, I did take a look at the Brazos. It is going to get pretty high down through Waller County into Fort Bend and Brazoria County as we go into late this week and this weekend. Current forecasts keep it just a few feet below flood stage down at Richmond and Fort Bend County. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. There's a lot of water not only coming down from that 10 to 12 inches you showed around Burleson County, Lake Somerville, but also further north. Really significant flash flooding happened last night in the Waco area, so that also goes into the Brazos Basin and comes down. So, if I were in Fort Bend and Waller County down in Brazoria County, I'd be keeping an eye on it. Nothing to be overly concerned about now, but just keep an eye on those river gauges from Bryan down to Washington on the Brazos, San Felipe, and then down at Richmond and into Rocheron.
Jeff Linder, Harris County Flood Control Meteorologist, thank you for your time, and we will stay in close contact with you over the next several days. Appreciate it, Jeff.